are my students, and I'm seeing every white person I see out here. I'm like, you need to get your ass in the fucking circle, yo. If we see people who are white passing, who are standing on the sides and taking pictures and shit and videos and bullshit like that, we need to tell their asses to get in the circle.
So, first and foremost, big shout out to The Dialectic, who put this together and has been covering the Syracuse situation for, maybe like a week or so, but his video is really, really good. He was like, hey, Jay, check out my SU video. I'm like, all right, sure. And I did, and it's fantastic. But this is not the SU video. What this is a live stream that a professor from Syracuse University did. Now, I covered Syracuse University when the guys with the afros took over a class, and so thusly after I'm done with a topic, I tend to let it go. But The Dialectic has given me a really good opportunity here to discuss academia and grievance studies and what's taken place throughout colleges throughout the nation. But right here, we have a fantastic example of a quote-unquote educator who is far from educated in and of herself. Now, the voice that you are hearing over this over the speaker is that of Jenn M. Jackson, PhD. Yes, it is definitely in the name tag of her bio. And let's go through this for a little bit. For the people, the police, and fight the power. FTP. So that's what that hashtag stands for. And she is a radical, black, queer, feminist. So ultimately, completely insane. Radical, black, queer, feminist, code word for completely insane. Don't take anything that I have to say seriously. Political scientist, all right, who have you gotten elected? Columnist at Teen Vogue. Jesus Christ. This is why the like a lot of these institutions or or entities, I don't want to call Teen Vogue an entity, but Vogue in and of itself has been around for a really long time. And Teen Vogue before, you just think, oh yeah, like what was that old magazine, like Heartbeat or something like that, where they'd have like Zac Efron or Teen Heartthrobs on the cover and just like retarded stuff for girls. Completely understood. All right, cool. But the deal is what's taken place, particularly since Hillary Clinton took that L, is that these publications, they are completely indoctrinated in, this Marxist, communist, socialist type mindset and ideology, and that's what they've been spewing. And Miss Jackson here, I'm sorry, Mrs. Jackson, is she's a part of it. She's a huge part of it. She's a podcaster at That Black Couple, so we're just gonna assume it's her and another chick, perioding all over each other. And she's repped by Lauren Spieler. She, her, hers, hashtag FTP. So yeah, this is what passes as a teacher in college these days. And the reason it passes as a teacher, and I said it because screw your pronouns. The reason it passes as a teacher is because the thing about grievance studies is that they have to keep digging that hole. They gotta keep reopening the wounds of whatever grievance that they have in order to basically justify their paycheck. No more, no less. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get back into this video, because this is his thumbnail. Really good, by the way. Let's do this. This is dumb.
Like, don't be out here exploiting this shit. White passing folks, please.
So she's calling out the light skins? I'm confused. White passing folk. Yeah, guys, I'm not confused. Like I said, she needs there to be some type of conflict, right? She needs there to be all this fantastic oppression that honestly would completely negate her existence as a professor. Because and The Dialect pointed this out in a follow-up video that he did. I'm going to be leaving a description to his channel in the description. I'm going to be leaving a link to his channel in the description of this video. And I want you guys to go check him out, sub, because he's starting to do some really, really fantastic work with great editing, tossing in a bunch of jokes. You know how I love me jokes. So yeah, definitely go check him out and definitely sub. But in his video, he pointed out that, if Syracuse was this terribly racist and harmful place, would you be making them, would they be paying you to teach in this place? Of course not. Of course they wouldn't. They'd be like, no, nigga, get the hell out of here. and kick her on out. But that's not what they're doing. No, what they've done is capitulated to a lot of these basically terroristic threats that the student body has been putting forward, and that is not that's not that we do not. We do not negotiate with terrorists, okay? And that's exactly what she has decided to do. And she's been manipulating her students for longer than she's been, a professor. Let's keep going.
So we're moving people of color to the middle and asking the white passing folks to kind of gather around.
Segregation, guys. That is what I like to call segregation. White passing folks. Jesus Christ. Y'all realize none of this is helpful at all. None of this cures the disease. None of this, makes the world better in any way, shape, or form, because you're fighting fights that have already been fought and won a very long time ago. But because, you got to justify your paycheck, here we are.
Surround them. White people surround them.
That's what I want to see. Put yourselves at risk, yo.
Put yourselves at risk, yo. This is a teacher. My sister's a teacher, and me and my sister, we would talk often about like certain things. Like there were certain things that she wouldn't be able to, that she didn't particularly fully comprehend. And I'm sitting there like, yo, you're the teacher though. You're supposed to be guiding these people, these young people, to become better older people. That's the whole point of teaching, is to, impart knowledge and wisdom, not particularly ideology. But that's exactly what's taken place over the last, and it goes beyond the last 20 years, like the last 40 years of academia in the United States. The grievance studies in, gender, African American studies, Latino history studies, all these other different, aligned courses that you can take to basically get an easy A and get a degree, because all you really need to do is say you have a degree. Like, oh, I have a degree. That's great. What's it in? It's, African American studies. How does that help anybody? How does that help? It doesn't. Grievance studies is the problem. It's a major problem. And honestly, we should probably start thinking about defunding. I'm not sure if Syracuse is public or not, but I think we should think about defunding these schools that offer these courses and offer degrees in these lines, because they're useless. They're toilet paper. All right, and this is coming from somebody who has a degree in something legitimate, criminal justice, and my degree is almost toilet paper. So I can only imagine what a gender studies or a grievance studies degree is worth. But let's keep going.
Put yourselves at risk.
White people spread out around.
Come on, white folks. Come on, white folks. Do the work. Put yourself at risk.
What risk? It's not like the cops are coming in bashing skulls and heads. You're just taking up space. There is no risk here. That's a big part of the reason why you're out there. Because if it was real, Miss Jackson, I'm pretty sure that you wouldn't, like, and by real, I mean bullets are flying. That's what I consider real. Fists are flying, bullets are flying, the explosions and and near misses, all that fun stuff. That is what I consider real. When it gets physical, when it gets like when the true whips and chains and batons and all that other fun stuff. Like, Selma was real, right? This right here is y'all just taking up space and ultimately being annoying because like everything that you're demanding, guess what? Already got.
Black issues are LGBTQ.
No, they are not. Stop with this intersection. See, that's where they really gain their power. That's why they fall so hard on the intersectionality sword, because that's where we can all come together and then we can take on the man. But the deal is that by ignoring the fact that these are not the same thing, these are not the same issues, it always reverts to infighting, because you'll be looking at each other like, well, that doesn't really help us. Well, it helps us, so screw you. Thusly, infighting. Thusly, the left eats its own. That's how that works.
Issues. Trans issues are black issues.
Not even close. I'm sorry. It's not. Just because overabundance of that community happens to be quote unquote black. Nah, family. Like, that is a whole special different level of issues, and that's not to be callous. That's not so I'm not empathetic to what anybody else goes through. It's just a matter of the fact that in dealing with reality, the reality of the situation is that no, they're two separate things, and you can't keep just trying to smash them together and say, oh yes, these all matter in the exact same. Nah, pimpin'.
I don't know if y'all know this, but you can be black and gay.
No, what? For reals? I'll be damn. It's not like, RuPaul hasn't been a public figure for 30 years now, has it? It's not like, you guys remember this movie? It's a really old movie called Mannequin. And the black guy in that movie, flamboyant ain't the word, all right? So trust me, we do know this, and you're the one that sounds silly.
If you don't know that, you shouldn't be here.
Honestly, anybody with a common sense shouldn't be there, man. Just get to class. Y'all pay too much money to go to these schools to waste your time on this type of nonsense, man. Just go get your degree and get on out into the real world, because the real world and college are not the same thing at all.
I am a queer black woman.
And?
I am both black and queer.
Okay, that was a nice little exercise in redundancy. Let's keep going.
Anybody who thinks that you can somehow separate sexual orientation, race, class, gender, or any of that from one another is sorely mistaken.
I don't consider myself mistaken. I'm not mistaken. I'm Mr. Taken, ma'am. First and foremost, they are separate. They are all completely different things, because if they weren't, they would all be named the same thing, genius. Secondly, you have to separate them because they're not the same. What's good for the goose is not good for the gander. I'm sorry. It really is so damn nonsensical how little thought is actually, like, I'm sure in her brain, she thought all this through to the end. Unfortunately, your brain is not that of, that of a man's. So thusly, no, you didn't fully think this through. These are all completely separate issues. And I would like to give each and every one an equal amount of deference. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they're all the same thing, because that's ridiculous.
Y'all say hi to the police officer taking our picture from the top of the parking structure. I'm working on that. What's your badge number, sir? What's your badge number, sir? What's your badge number, sir? Sir, what's your badge?
I'd ignore her silly ass too. I'm going to be 100% real with you. I would completely ignore her, because, like, when you're talking to people with this type of mindset, this type of mentality, you are talking to a brick wall. If Donald Trump really wants to fortify that wall that's going up, he would take all these people and just plant them at the base of it, because they are just stubborn, stuck in their head. And you're sitting there calling this man a pig due to his profession. And yes, I do have issues with police. I do have issues with the legislation and policies that they enforce. But at the end of the day, he's a human being. And you're sitting there insulting this human being, and he's actually being rather professional by ignoring you. Because a lot of people don't realize, and particularly those of us, with a little bit more estrogen in us, you don't particularly realize that ignoring you is an option, and he is completely right to do so.
Badge number? What's your badge number? Excuse me? Hello? No, it's not. Can you tell me your badge number, sir?
So he goes and gives her his badge number, or says what the badge number is, and she's just like, no, it's not. Like, Jesus Christ. You cannot please these types of folks, so thusly, you cannot give credence to these types of folks. Let's keep going.
Man, fuck the police. If you go to a college, or you live in a community, and you see people outside...
Okay, so they're screaming that whole, this is what democracy, that chant is so trash, but primarily democracy looks like going into a voting booth. That's what democracy looks like, all right? This looks like a whole bunch of people with a lot of free time on their hands.
Doing stuff like this, and all you can think to yourself is like, oh my God, I want to go home, and they're blocking the intersection. Now I have to take a detour. Oh my God.
It is so annoying when they do that.
You're the fucking problem. Oh, they were starved last week, but you know what? I want to go home. I want to go home.
Yeah, they want to go home. They like, honestly, being this much of a nuisance. My God, like, the people of Syracuse, New York, must be heaven sent, because they will just take the detour and get home, because you're starving yourselves. All right, all this whole, like, I believe it's circulated around a hunger strike that they got going on. And the deal is, you're starving yourself. There's stores open. You can go get yourself a taco whenever you want. This is ridiculous, though. It really is. And this is the professor. This is the teacher. Guys, something got to be done when it comes to this grievance bullshit.
My desire to go home and be warm and sit in front of my TV and be comfortable is more important than everyone having full citizenship.
You are enrolled. You are teaching at a college, and your students are enrolled at a college. How are you not having full citizenship? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. But that goes to how bonkers these individuals, particularly in academia, who need to perpetuate and propagate this notion of victimhood and victim mentality in order to justify their paychecks. Like, nah. There's an old saying: when someone's paycheck, it depends on them believing one thing, don't expect to change their mind. I'm pretty sure that's that I got it wrong, but I'm in the ballpark. I know I'm in the ballpark.
Oh my God. How do you sleep at night?
My question is, how do you, like, seriously, how do you sleep at night going, like, knowing that you're basically, do you actively seek to destroy society? The same society that's propped you up, the same society that is giving you a salaried position at this university to teach kids your crazy and terrible ideology? This is disgusting. Jenn M. Jackson is just, but she's a symptom. She's a symptom of the problem. And the problem is that we just keep throwing money at schools and at programs and issues, when in reality there's more that can and should be done to fix whatever societal issues there are. But when it comes to college, you are there to learn. You are there to get your degree, and then take that degree, use that degree to go and get a better job. Ultimately, that's the goal of college. That's what you should be going to college for, or to network and to meet people. So, hey, yeah, my friend's dad has this company where, he's making 100, where he has a position where you can make 100K. You want to go do that? Hell yeah, I'm out. I always tell that to my younger friends when they're like, oh man, Jay, I'm about to go off to college. Like, you're in high school, and I'm like, I let them know, like, look, man, go to college, go to school, go educate yourself, but also network, because the ultimate goal of college is to go get a good job and make good money. If you can find a way to make good money without having to continuously spend $70,000 a year, hop on it, champ. So, and honestly, the government really needs to get out of financial aid. That's another thing I wanted to point out right quick. The government really needs to get out of financial aid, because a lot of this really spurred once the government started guaranteeing student loans. So with that being said, before I end it, The Dialectic. Link to his channel is in the description. I'm not going to be able to recommend him enough. He's on point, really astute dude, and thank you for putting me onto this, my guy. So with that being said, now we're going to bring it to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share, because sharing is caring, and YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know, what do you think in the comments? Like, Jenn Jackson and people like her are the problem. They really are, because you take for granted everything that has been bestowed upon you, darling. You're not fully thinking whatever type of revolutionary thought you got, you're not fully thinking it through. But you may disagree. You might think, oh man, Jenn Jackson, I totally want to learn something from her. Okay. And really quickly, you know what she reminds me of? It's Lisa D something, Lisa Durden. Okay. She was a college professor in Newark, New Jersey at Essex County College. And she got in trouble. She actually ended up losing her job because she went on Tucker Carlson and said how, oh, y'all white people, y'all just mad because y'all ain't invited to the cookout. Just being completely uncouth. And I've actually met this woman in real life because, you know, Jersey was my playground. I've come across this lady in real life, and yeah, she's batshit insane. And Miss Jackson is no different. And so, you know, it is what it is. The pattern is the pattern, though. But you may disagree. That's what the comment section's for, and until the next one.